Issue 218. When Jack is asked by his grunt why he isn't storming the refinery, Jack explains that the two people who are supposed to be their backup are busy fighting, and yet he's smiling, looking all laid back, implying that he just likes the idea of getting rid of them and thinks it's worth it. They all smirk and enjoying the show, and when what I assume is Mighty's sister asks how long they're going to stay there, Bunny's uncle answers that they'll wait until Bunny's got the situation under control or she needs them. Bunny tells Sonic that if the Sandblasters win, then Eggman will come down hard on the Baron and his Dark Legion chapter. Bunny tells Sonic what the Sandblasters did, rejecting the former Robians, and while he isn't too surprised, he reminds Bunny that the DEL are the bad guys. Finally, Bunny tells him that the Baron's her uncle, and since she runs on emotion, she doesn't want to turn her back on him now that she finally has him again. Sonic doesn't react to this revelation, so I guess she told him that off screen? She admits that Sonic's right all of a sudden, which is very convenient for Sonic, who says that he won't let the Sandblasters take this place and leave Bunny's uncle to take the heat. Sonic and Bunny hold hands with Bunny looking sinister as they finally come to a compromise. I guess it happened so quickly because neither of them really want to injure each other and they wanted any excuse to stop. Sonic is thrown with excessive force by a smiling Bunny, and he promptly risks ruining it by being a terrible actor saying a stilted line of Captain Obviousness. He gets thrown through some pipes as there's oil below them, and for some reason one of the people in Jack's group talks like a sophisticated Englishman. Maybe he's not from here. Jack gets suspicious for them tearing up the place as opposed to Sonic's bad acting, and he furiously orders to start the Jeeps and take them out before they destroy the refinery on them. Mighty's sister hopes that they'll end the fight before the refinery is damaged anymore, and as Bunny's uncle learns the truth from seeing her smiling through the binoculars, Sonic grabs Bunny as she flies away, revealing the trick to everybody for good, as Bunny says Sonic might be brainwashed again later so they can fight again. I don't remember that happening to him much, aside from that Amnesia story, which he wasn't technically brainwashed in, and the time that he fought her as Mecha Sonic, but that's a really early reference to just casually reference. And yet Sonic's calling it a tired scheme, as if him being brainwashed against his friends is a regular occurrence. You'd think he'd have killed them by now if that was the case. After Sonic briefly gets attacked by green birds, he attacks them back with a super speed, and after briefly getting attacked by the spiked spin dash of a green guy, he somehow isn't injured by that, and Bunny saves him. When Bunny's arm gets caught by a bear trap of one of Jack's guys, she only has to flex to destroy it because of Cyborg arm. He should have put on the other one. He runs away crying, and Bunny complains about how she really liked her jacket too. Fortunately, Sonic says that Rosie can fix it. Good, because I love that part of her design. Jack tells Avery to shoot even though this could wreck the place even worse, and Bunny's uncle stops them from doing so. Unfortunately, he still yells at Bunny, saying that they need to protect and run Eggman's refinery, and she's putting the lives of his entire chapter at risk. I guess this is because they know that they can be exploded, but he never said that. Bunny isn't sad at this, and instead tells him while taking Jack's gun away that they put their lives at risk the minute they sided with Eggman. After Sonic spin dashes at Bunny's uncle for yelling at her, an explosion of dust happens, and when he panics at that, Bunny reassures him that they stopped the Sandblasters from getting this place and shifted all the blame away from him. Sonic reassures Bunny's uncle that he just has to tell Eggman that he was involved and he'll blame it completely on Sonic. Bunny's uncle looks serious, warning her that she can't play both sides forever and one of these days she'll have to face him as a freedom fighter. Bunny's uncle tells the Legionnaires to stand down and fall back, and says goodbye to her with his hands on her cheeks. As Bunny naturally starts crying, and I have to wonder why Sonic can't just, pick up Bunny's uncle, carry him to the Nanite City, and just get Nicole or Rotor to take away his exploding cybernetics or something. Or at least remove the explosives in his cybernetics. You'd think that rescuing him would be easy. Maybe they have a... No, Eggman knows where the Nanite City is anyways. Why do they need to worry about a tracker? Well, actually, since Eggman seems to love having Bunny's uncle as Grand Master so much, well, I assume that he knows that he's her uncle. I guess if he got brought to the Nanite City, Eggman would just threaten to blow up everyone that used to work for Bunny's uncle as an exchange to get him back. So the heroes would be forced to bring him back anyways. I mean, that all depends. No, I'm pretty sure Eggman would... Does Eggman know that he's Bunny's uncle? If he doesn't, then that would be fine. He would just disappear and Eggman would assume that he died. But I'm pretty sure that he would know because they share the same last name. Anyways, Sonic reassures her, looking on the bright side of what they accomplished, and they walk away holding hands. Why do their main friendship moments in this arc have to make them look like a couple? Back at the castle, the Queen apologizes to Dr. Quack that it almost looked like it was going to be one of the King's better days. As he keeps his back to her, she says sadly that he can't shut out everyone. This is depressing and unnecessary, but interesting at least. Does he know that he's losing it and is ashamed? I'd like to point out that at no point in any of the issues where we see in the future, like In Your Face and the Lara Sue Sonic Universe story arc, at no point in any of that do we see the King being old and insane. Or in a wheelchair. And In Your Face, the King was clearly walking upright and seemed perfectly fine. So, obviously, the only way that this can make sense is if he's destined to be completely cured of all this. But he never will be. That plot thread is never going to be resolved. He admits that she's right and asks for Jeffrey of all people. In the second story, Snively complains to a Legionnaire that he doesn't like to be shoved and he's not just a prisoner. Eggman says he's not one yet, and that while he could have just sent for him, for all his treachery, he's never been sloppy about it. Eggman tells him that he knows he's made calls to the Dragon Kingdom, and Snively says he's been setting up a new Dark Egg Legion chapter. I know they made the Dark Legion work for Eggman to simplify things so that both Sonic and Knuckles are fighting the same villain group, but I still don't know if I like it. It comes off as dumbing things down. I prefer the Dark Legion being separate from him as major villains in their own right, like Mammoth Moggle, Ixis and the Battlebird, or Mana. They've lost all credibility by losing the power to make their own decisions and stuff. They went to Eggman for power, but I feel like they had more power on their own. Plus, there's, like, he's setting up a new Dark Egg Legion chapter in the Dragon Kingdom. Wasn't it there to begin with? Because the Iron Queen was one of Eggman's sub-bosses? Why did Eggman not, like, cyborgize her, or roboticize her? Like, was that ever explained? Snively's lies are revealed by a tape showing him contacting the Iron Fortress and telling Conquering Storm that he'll be sending the legionizing devices in a week. She says that they don't need them, and Snively reasserts his authority over her clan. Then the tape reveals him asking about the Iron Queen. She's imprisoned in a prison made of stone, kept clear of any machinery or electronics she could break out with. I'd like to point out that, well, I guess that's technically true. I mean, what she's trapped in is made of stone, but it's not a prison in the traditional sense. Snively says very good, but I guess I'm supposed to assume that it was said in a sad tone, revealing his true intentions. Eggman forces Snively to say it's over, and I actually felt really sorry for him here, despite everything he's done. And the story ends with Snively plotting his revenge. This issue, by Ian Flynn, had the so-called fight between Bunny and Sonic be entirely a trick by the two of them, as it comes to a compromise very quickly with barely a single blow being exchanged. They realize that if Sonic and Bunny destroy the oil refinery themselves, Eggman will blame Sonic, taking all the heat off the Legion. It annoyed me how Bunny's uncle reacted at first, but I should have expected it, and he at least proves that he still cares about her. It's a shame that they have to be on opposite sides like this, that we'll never get to see her and him being on the same side for even one issue. I mean, I guess it is better for a good guy like him to be the Grandmaster of that Dark Egg Legion chapter than some evil person. But still, his life is being put at risk, and Bunny's clearly not happy with this, and neither is he. I hated Sonic's Captain Obvious bad acting, because not only was it stupid in-universe by risking someone getting suspicious, and surprisingly that's not why Jack figures it out, but it was stupid in a meta sense too, patronizing the audience because they just want to make sure that we get it, as if them smiling all cheerfully wasn't enough of an indication. I'm glad they worked it out in a creative way at least, but it was underwhelming. It's like the only reason they fought was to have some sort of title page that's, please buy this kind of title page. Oh, and the second story has us once again reminded that Snively wants to free the Iron Queen in the end. It's redundant, and it doesn't feel like it concludes the dangling plot thread, because Snively says it's not really over. Really, the only way it'd be concluded is if the Iron Queen died, but that'd be a waste.